So I was friends with somebody that worked at Vin Solutions. Dealers also need to be embracing AI. I think was one of the key takeaways for me. Like,
You don't want to let everybody just kind of go, okay, kind of like that social media thing. Like, everyone just go get a social media account, post whatever you want to feel like. You know, we should learn from those. Yes, right?
Welcome to the Shift into Profit podcast, where leaders come to evolve, teams come to improve, and dealerships come to grow. Every episode delivers the insights you need to transform your people and maximize your performance. Let's shift your store into a new level of profit.
Hey, what's going on, Automotive Nation? It is Jason Harris here, and thank you for joining me on another episode of Shift into Profit. I get to talk to, well, anybody, everybody I want to when it comes to making our businesses more profitable. And I'm here in San Francisco at the C.O.R.A event, that's C.O.R.A, the Council of Responsible AI. And I have Robert DeGeorge with me with Cox Automotive. What's going on, Robert? Hey, that's very 56. Thanks for coming to jam with me. You know, I ask a lot of people to come on the podcast. Not everyone jumps up and goes, I'll do it. So,
dude, yeah, I like to get up on here, get in front of the camera. I enjoy it. So,
well, here, for everybody out there watching, listening that don't know who you are, how you got started in the industry, I love kicking off podcasts because, hey, I'm fundamentally interested. I don't think anybody just wakes up one day and goes, so how in the world did you get started in this crazy little world couple on with?
yeah, so really all started off right out of high school. Mom and dad kicked me out of the house and said, hey, you need a job. And they knew the general sales manager over at the dealership, Chrysler dealership in Kansas City, Missouri. And so I went up there, interviewed thinking I'd get the job as a lot porter. The general sales manager had said, hey man, I really kind of like you. I like your energy. Do you want to sell? And so I started off as a salesperson for this dealership. Didn't know a thing about selling cars, but am fairly good at talking to people. So that's kind of how I got my foot started as I sold. And then I transitioned into the internet department because this is early 2000s, right when the internet was starting to kick off. And then went to school, finished up my degree in business, and then was like, okay, I don't like working the long hours. Let me see if I can do something with this degree. And so I was friends with somebody that worked at Vin Solutions. This is 2012.
I think I've heard of those guys.
And so I started, did an interview, got hired on at Vin Solutions, and was kind of just responsible for reaching out to dealers, getting them on demonstrations. Then I transitioned to the guy that did the demonstrations, and then now I lead a team, Vin Solutions, dealer.com, where we conduct product demos for prospective clients and existing clients, help them understand the value of our software and our solutions and services, and I've been doing that since 2012.
It's 2012, too. Hey, once you're in, you're in bed. Yeah, it's one of those industries that once you come in your blood, you just get out, right? It can. There's been a couple times where I'm like, okay, I think I'm getting out, and then it's like this, so you can get out, Father. We're right back in. Like that's good. It's a vortex. It just does. It innovates. I love this industry. It's the reason why I do this podcast, because it's an industry that's given me and my family amazing opportunities. It wouldn't be here, so we love recording and talking to people. We've had some great conversations here around AI, responsible AI. You know, lots of different things we discussed. So I'm just curious, from your perspective, what are some of the things that maybe you heard today that that dealers need to be?
Dealers need to have policy in place, structured process in place, right? Dealers also need to be embracing AI. I think was one of the key takeaways for me. Like, they're not embracing AI today. Like, you need to start playing with it as soon as possible, and encouraging your team members, your dealership personnel throughout fixed ops, throughout variable ops, throughout all facets of the dealership to start engaging with AI, because the dealer that's going to be losing is the dealer that is not engaging with AI, because every single day you engage with it, you're learning and you're getting better. Also, you need to have a process.
Yeah, you don't want to let everybody just kind of go, okay, kind of like that social media thing. Like, everyone just go get a social media account, post whatever you want to feel like. You know, we should learn from those. Yes, right? And there should be a standards. There should be policies. And, you know, I think what I've learned in sharing with this thing is that, you know, the dealership, you guys out there watching and listening right now, you guys should be learning about AI together. Yeah, right. Like, you know, just let's elevate everybody, you know, and maybe you break it out by department. Maybe it's managers and leaders. You know, maybe that's F&I and then sales and service and stuff like that. But as a team learning, everything from the basics all the way to key guns and pairs.
Yes, and that's something too that I think is often overlooked is like compliance and responsibility and using this ethically, right? Because with great power comes great responsibility, right? You ever heard that one before? But that's going to be a big takeaway for you as well. It is something that I hadn't really thought about. Is it's so important for dealerships to have, and is going to be so important for them to have a way to ensure
That is being used effectively and as responsibly. Oh, yeah. I mean, because look, there's just so many different platforms. There's so many different agents. There's so many different use cases out there that, I mean, you guys really need to attack this as a team. I would recommend, if it was me at your dealership, I would focus on leadership and working on my sales from there. How are the leaders using in this business? There are so many amazing ways to use AI to help kind of identify gaps within a business. I think that for me, that was one of the most exciting things I took away from today. That was, I think too often as an industry, we talk about what we have accomplished. We don't necessarily know the brief. We don't know like what could we, can we accomplish? I like, I look at a P&L, it's like, okay, that's what we made. What was the worth? Like, so I see that being one of the biggest opportunities, but I'm curious, from you, where you saw some biggest opportunities.
some of the biggest opportunities for me, I think is ultimately coaching and accountability. I think, one of the things I heard from you is, right, you're working on reporting processes, reporting, and then running that through AI, and then identifying, where are the gaps, and then from there being able to provide coaching. I think that's huge. I think there's a massive opportunity.
Well, and I've heard you talked about that too, because you're doing that with some of your internal team.
Yes, within my team as well.
It's amazing. I'm curious because now you kind of got through that process and you're 100% right. Like, I mean, you guys, as an industry, we have to record our in-person conversation. I blows my mind that we spend millions and millions of dollars on a business and inventory and a physical building and people and technologies, all for one of the most important conversations to have. The insights is literally a piece of paper to check this. That's kind of crazy. But you and your team, you guys have been doubting at this. What are some of the insights that you have seen that have surprised you?
Number one is a team member adhering to the process, right? Like, as a leader, it's so important that you have protocols and procedures and processes that your team members understand, right, and follow. And so one of the cool things, that just to give you a little bit of context, so inside of what I'm doing, is so my team is talking to clients and prospective clients on a daily basis through virtual meetings. We record those meetings, of course, with consent from the client, and then we transcribe them. And then I use AI to understand, are my team members following the process? Are they setting an agenda at the beginning of the meeting so the client understands the expectations of what's going to happen during your meeting? Then I also train my team to ask specific questions. The AI is then trained and is able to go through and determine if those specific questions have been asked. The other cool thing is the AI is able to pick up on, did the prospective client ask any questions that my team member was unable to answer, or they struggle? Okay. And then is also able to understand what the sentiment of the client or prospective client is. So I'm able to then take.
So they didn't just do a product lament. They actually to engage, ask questions. They were generally interested in working with us.
Generally interested in what we had to say, because I think that happens so often is in sales, right? We get nervous and we just start vomiting product knowledge all over. And then the recipient of that just walks away with nothing, right? Other than just smashing their forehead and saying, oh my God, that was miserable.
Well, and look, it's all about efficiency and quality too, right? So like, for you guys, you guys are talking to a dealer, you guys are presenting options, opportunities of products. Yep. It's no different than dealers out there. If you're selling a car, you're servicing part, or you're selling your products in F&I, it's the exact same thing, right? If you want to make that experience the best experience you possibly can. And what the only insights that we have on that experience is like a survey, a checklist. That's really not deep enough to provide the training, coaching necessary. I don't run the list as an owner yourself. I just sit there and just,
if it was getting closer to this boldly.
what fix that train of the coach I'm not now I'm with it. And this now starts to show right now we're saying, this is what we made, but if we executed, this is really key. So let's see what we're
Yeah. And then, so really excited about for dealers is how they can use AI to personalize a customer experience, right? If you know anything about the consumer experience, right, you know that the consumer spends an average of 7-8 hours researching online before they ever buy a vehicle. So they're doing all this work online. Then oftentimes they show up to the dealership, and none of what they've done online gets communicated to the in-store experience the consumer has. And there's a huge pain point for the consumer there. And so one of the ways that dealers can leverage AI to solve that pain point is AI can now start helping the dealer, the sales team at the dealership understand what the consumer's been doing online, right? We're using AI to analyze the online shopping activities, the online behaviors that the consumer has exhibited. AI then analyzes that activity and can make predictions about where the consumer is in the buying journey, what it is that the consumer is interested in buying, from body style to the top makes that the consumer is interested in, the top models the consumer is interested in. So me, if I am a salesperson of a Ford dealership and I see that Joe, let's say a guy that tried to buy a car from me 3 years ago, has recently been shopping online, I can see that he's likely very actively shopping. So he's likely to buy a car in the next 30 days. I can also see that he's also considering Ford F-150s. I know that, hey, I really want to spend time with Joe. I really want to sell my product against that F-150, right? I want to help him understand where my vehicle differentiates. But I also want to use the AI to understand what are some of the best ways to communicate with this. Does Joe prefer text messaging? Does he prefer actually talking on phone?
Although it's a hybrid personalized hyper experience. Yeah. I think in the past, we've always been mostly to sell, right? And there was little personalization to really not much to it. Now, there's so much so fast that we're teed up now a way where we can execute a beautiful. Yes. Hey, real quick, I know I get towards the tone of our conversation, but for everybody out there watching, listening now, who would love to connect with you, learn more about what you and your team is doing, offering to viewers, what's the best way to connect?
Yeah, best way to connect is, so you can check me out on LinkedIn, Robert DeGeorge. Look me up on LinkedIn. Of course, you can always shoot me a text or a phone call. My phone number is 816-215-2752. And of course, email robert.degeorge@coxautoinc.com.
So, hey, Robert, thank you so much. My pleasure, Dick. Thank you. This has been a blast. Hey, for everybody out there watching, we appreciate you. Look, one of the biggest compliments you give us as content creators is share this shit. I'm going to ask you to uppercut the like and smash the subscribe button, but I only ask you to share the show. So if you got a colleague or a manager or someone that needs to see some portion of today's conversation, be here up, share the show. Thanks, guys. Get yourself an amazing day.
Thanks for tuning in to Shift into Profit, the podcast where we break down the people, processes, and technology that turn dealerships into profit machines. If today's conversation helped you, share the show and help another operator win. And we'll see you in the next episode.